back on the record. All counsel and parties are present, and I've been advised by Deputy Scott that the jury has reached a verdict. And so before we ask the jury to return and publish that verdict, I have to advise everyone here in attendance today that I know many of you have been here for a significant time, some of you for every single day of trial, and waiting for this verdict. However, we can't have any kind of emotional reaction to this, anything that would be audible or disruptive to the proceedings. And so I would ask each of you to look internally and think for yourself if that is something you're going to be able to handle and control. And if you cannot, go ahead and step outside now and you can watch it on our live stream. Otherwise, I have instructed our deputies that they are to immediately escort anybody out of this courtroom should they cause any kind of outburst or disruption. So with that, if we could retrieve the jury. Members of the jury, I've been informed by Deputy Scott that you have reached a verdict. And so I would ask the foreperson to identify themselves by juror number.
Juror 15.
All right, juror 15. And do you have the verdict form with you? Okay, and have you reached a verdict?
Yes.
And was it unanimous?
Yes.
And was that verdict form filled in, signed, and dated by you?
Yes.
All right, if you could hand that to Deputy Scott. All right, ma'am, I'm now handing you back the jury form, and now we have to publish that into the record. And so you can remain seated, but if you would read that verdict aloud.
In the Superior Court of Fulton County, State of Georgia, the State of Georgia versus Anthony Jared McCoy Jr. The verdict reads as follows. As to count 1, violation of the Georgia Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 2, violation of the Georgia Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 3, murder, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 4, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 5, felony murder, aggravated assault, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 6, felony murder, aggravated assault, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 7, felony murder, criminal damage to property, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 8, felony murder, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 9, felony murder, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 10, felony murder, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 11, felony murder, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 12, aggravated assault, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 13, aggravated assault, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 14, criminal damage to property in the first degree, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 15, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 16, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. As to count 17, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty.
We are back on the record. All parties in counsel are present, and counsel have indicated that they are ready to move on to a sentencing hearing, the jury having returned a verdict of guilty on all counts. And so I turn first to the state, and I would ask Ms. Green from the outset if you could just tell me the state's recommendation globally and count by count, and then present any argument or evidence in aggravation that you wish to present.
Pursuant to the statute, the state has given sufficient notice on the record to the defense prior to the commencement of trial of 3 prior certified convictions, and the state also allowed the defense to inspect those certified convictions prior to the commencement of trial. The state intends on entering State's Exhibit 502, which is the 3rd certified conviction out of Floyd County.
All right, let me pause you there. Any objection to State's Exhibit 502?
Can I see it for a second?
Floyd County.
Yeah, no, you're on.
And so as the court requested, the state's recommendation is the maximum on all charges. State believes that is life without the possibility of parole plus 65 years. If we was to go through them individually, on count 1, the gang statute, the maximum is 20 years. Count 2, maximum 20 years. Count 3, murder, life without the possibility of parole. Count 4, murder, life without the possibility of parole. Count 5 is life without the possibility of parole, but it would vacate by operation of law, and that is applied to count 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all the felony murders. Aggravated assault would merge, count 12 of aggravated assault would merge into count 3. Count 13, aggravated assault, it would merge into count 4. Criminal damage to property, while the felony murder vacates, criminal damage to property can be sentenced on, and the maximum to criminal damage to property is 10 years. Possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, the maximum is 10 years. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, the maximum is 10 years. And possession of the firearm by a convicted felon under 133 is 15 years. And it's my understanding that he can be sentenced on the 15-year 133
And so.
and
counts-
the during.
So counts 15 and 16 merge into count 17.
15 and 16 merges into 17.
All right.
Do you want?
Yeah, any other evidence, argument?
Yes. In addition to that, Your Honor, while I understand that the prior acts that Mr. McCoy committed did not come into evidence at trial, I believe I can argue them briefly, very briefly, in aggravation evidence. The 2 convictions that I wanted to bring in at trial, well, specifically the one, there's really one, it's the Floyd County conviction. Yes,
Which exhibit would that be?
I believe it's the one I just handed you, the 502. The reason why that one is the one that I wanted to bring in is it's trafficking drugs into the Floyd County prison. When you heard the testimony of Manson, Gangster Disciples, that's where they dominate in the prison system. And McCoy coordinated that act in transporting those drugs, a very layered conspiracy to have the drugs transported to the jail and then those packages removed from a container and then shipped into the jail. He worked with multiple prisoners. He is influential. He does have status. I'll give him that. But that's important. Those pictures showing off in jail, he wasn't a nobody. He's pretty.
Sorry.
Okay.
No,
okay.
a question on that. On that exhibit, and I forget the number, but that was a phone seized while he's in custody on this case. Did you have a approximate date when you believe that picture was taken?
I'm not saying one has to do with the other. I'm just basically saying, oh yeah, May 31st, 2023 is the date.
So what was he in custody for at that time?
I believe in June 3rd, 2023, a Fulton County conviction, Clayton County conviction. Thank you. I believe this was his attorney on that case. So that is really the main transaction that I wanted to bring in. If the court would have denied all those transactions, I really just wanted that Floyd County one. And so that's the only one I wanted to talk about as it relates to Mr. McCoy's influence and status within the gang. And with influence and status, you don't get out of the gang. He will continue to associate himself with the gang and with that commit further crimes. And that's all I have as far as aggravation. And so now I would ask if the state will be allowed to have brief victim impact statements. I know we have 8. I'm going to start with Ms. Kiera Wallace.
Your Honor, my name is Kiara Wallace, and I'm the mother of Riley Houston, the daughter of Joshua Houston. I'm here today not only as a mother, but as someone trying to explain what it means for a child to lose their dad. There's no way to prepare a young child to understand why her dad is never coming home. Every day I see the confusion and pain in Riley's eyes. Since Joshua was taken away from us, our lives has changed completely. The laughter, the support, the love that he brought into our lives is gone. Riley has lost the chance to grow up with her father, to share birthdays, graduations, first days of school, and all the milestones that they should have had together. That loss will never go away. I've had to become both parents, trying to fill an emptiness that no one can replace. Your Honor, I ask that you consider sentencing. I ask that you consider during sentencing that you remember the innocent child that was left behind. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here.
And now Miss Brianna Cole for Mr. Joshua Houston.
Okay. First, I want to say that today isn't about the person who took a life. It's about the one that we lost. We're here because someone's choice changed everything. A choice that stole a friend, a son, and a father. Someone who meant something real to us. I don't want to spend too much time speaking on the person responsible because you already took too much from us. But I do want you to understand your actions didn't just end a few lives. They broke hearts, they changed futures, and they left a hole that can never be filled. We forgive when we can, but we don't forget. And I hope one day you truly feel the weight of what you've done, not just legally, but in your soul. Because taking a life is easy. Living with it, understanding it, and facing it, that's where the real punishment is. To my friend, we love you, we miss you, and your name will always mean more than the one who took you from us.
Thank you, ma'am.
And now Miss Sherelle Williams, the mother of Mr. Leonard.
Hi, Yana. This is not our first run. You did a case with my other son, my granddaughter, father, Robert Bankston and Cedrica Smith, double homicide. So I went to the same courtroom. It replayed itself the same time because the other young fella, he didn't accept accountability, just like he didn't accept accountability. So God prepared me for that trial because everything is written. And I know that Mr. McCoy, he took my son, but my son didn't. You can kill the flesh, but not the spirit. So I want to just say thank you. I thank Fulton County, the jurors. Thank you all. I really appreciate everything. But Corey was not affiliated. He had license to carry guns. The children that he impacted, not even my family, I'm talking about kids that came to my house and said, Uncle Corey, you know, that did something to me. So they let me know that Corey did what he's supposed to do, did while he was here. He served his purpose, you know. Also, I just want to say that when I got on that stand and I had to ask God, because I'm fighting flesh too myself, because I wanted him to be like my son, but God said that was just too easy for him, you know? So I just want to say that at the end of the day, sorry. I asked God to show me if Mr. McCoy really meant to do it. In my heart, he didn't mean to do it. He was going off ego and pride. That's my feeling. That's what my God told me. And why I say that? Because when I looked at him, he could look at me in my eyes. Yeah, he laughed at a lot of them that got on his stand, but he couldn't look at me. So they let me know he has a conscience. And I accept the apology. He ain't got to tell me. God already told me. But I just want to say, it's kids that's been impacted. You know, Corey had 3 kids, and I can look in their eyes and I can see my son identical, look just like him. And I also saw Mr. McCoy's child as well. And I just pray that God just bless her with a father that nothing's like him. You know, and the mother don't allow that baby to do the life sentence or whatever charges that would you give him. But I accept it, and I'm at peace. And again, I thank you, jurors. I thank Fulton County. I thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, job well done. That's all I want to say. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Miss Lucille Williams. This is the grandmother of Mr. Leonard.
Thank you, Your Honor, for this opportunity. Oh, I just praise and thank God how He kept our family together. And I praise and thank God how I kept him. I raised him and raised him in church. And he used to be my drummer in my church. But God used him to touch other kids and mentor to them. And he loved his kids. He showed them how to respect people. And he would take them on vacations. And I mean, whatever. He was there for his kids. And he showed other kids. And plus, he was a mentor to other kids. And I just thank God that he didn't die in vain. And I just thank God. I prayed and I asked God. I asked him, I said, Lord, he have taken 4 lives is gone. Mr. Houston and Corey. Corey, 3 kids. And the 13-year-old, he's having some of the problems. The 3, the 5, and the 7, they still ask questions to their mom, you know, and they haven't gotten over it. Then I think about Mr. McCoy. His life is gone, and his daughter is gone. But I said, Lord, I forgive him. But I asked the Lord to use him in the present, that he would turn his life and repent to God, and that he would mentor or talk to others and spread the word, God's word, where others in there can be saved. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, and now Tanika Thrift.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Tanika Thrift, and I'm Corey's oldest sister. Even if I could address Anthony for taking the life of my brother, I wouldn't, because, Your Honor, I think we have given too much of our time. So I'll address the courts and my family. In one of the evidence videos where the defendant was being little man, as DA Green put it, if you can hear my brother, you can hear my brother asking the defendant and Polo to stop. He kept saying, y'all stop, man, y'all stop, man. You can also see him gesturing at them to stop. If you knew Corey, you knew that voice from anywhere. He didn't keep up a lot of mess. He stayed out of the way. He was a cool little brother. He was just a fun guy. He wasn't in a gang, but he had a gang of friends. His family were all hurt, but the deepest hurt, like his mom said, are in the children. His kids miss their daddy. My kids miss their Uncle Corey. My nieces and nephew miss their Uncle Corey. My little sister misses her big brother. He was a kid at heart anytime he was around them. He had a soft spot for his 4 sisters, and we had a soft spot for him. He was taken from us, and we will never be the same. My favorite picture of my brother, he's in Jamaica holding a glass of his favorite drink, and we all know what that is. He's holding it up as he's giving it a toast. Today, I'd like to think he's giving that toast to the jurors for sitting here for a week for him and in honor of his friend Polo. I'd also like to think that he's given that toast to DA Green for fighting on his behalf and for taking her time to research and solve this case for his family. I'd like to think that he's given that toast to all of the witnesses, even the ones who didn't want to speak up. We knew what you meant without you even saying it. And a toast to Detective Principe for doing what he said and bringing this on home like he promised. And I'd like to think he's given that toast to you, Your Honor, for upholding the law and handing down the maximum, most appropriate sentence for Corey and Joshua's murder. My family also thanks you all and know that you guys will make the right and only choice there is. Thank you.
And then Welton Beck is this younger brother of Mr. Leonard.
I ain't gonna lie, I just had adrenaline walking up here. What's up, Judge? All right, boom. Yes. All right, my brother, he's a love guy. I ain't gonna lie. I made a promise I ain't gonna come up here and cry because that's what my brother was. He a man. He stood up first. You know how I feel to lose your dad in 2021 and your big brother, the father figure, and he passed? Now, you gotta try your best to be that father figure to his son, the 13-year-old one and the 5-year-old one. It's hard. But I got courage. I'm gonna stand up here today and I'm gonna talk about my brother. My brother, he's the GOAT, man. He Corey, he Dan, you know? I find it crazy that I gotta stand up here and wear this necklace of his body Where the jury, where I had to clean off his blood so he can wear it at his funeral and I can wear it on my wrist. Where I got to have this tattoo on my brother date and death date. See what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be that guy to lift my head up and show y'all I'm strong. And Teasy, I forgive you.
Don't look fast. Don't look at the judge. Look at the judge.
I had to let him know that I'm a man. Cause that's what I'm forced to be. And that's okay. Cause that's what's God planned. Y'all keep y'all head up. It's okay. My brother was love. He's dang, he used to go. I just can't express it anymore. Adrenaline rushing, so I really can't say everything I want to say, but I know y'all feel it's pure. Thank you, Jerry. I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all, Court. Can you give me a hug?
You did a great job.
I love all y'all, man. Keep y'all head up. Keep God first.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Your Honor, I'm almost done. I have Miss Portia Harris.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to say thank you to all the counsel in the room. Thank you, jurors, for your decision. Corey proposed to me in front of thousands of people on the stage. I never got a chance to wear my dress to my wedding. I wore a white dress to my funeral, his funeral. He took a part of my life that I'll never get back. Corey was a good man. He was a hardworking man, and he loved God. We went to church. We made it our business to go to church every Sunday. I don't care what we did over the weekend, as far as having fun with ourselves and our children. We have 6 children blended. 3 is his and 3 are mine. I have children that are being impacted by this right now. All 6 of our kids are going through things right now because he's gone. I have a child that has thought about leaving this world since he been gone. I suffer from PTSD since he been gone. He loved God and he loved to have a good time. He was a hardworking man. He worked a full-time job and also had his own job on the side. Corey was a blessing to me. And he always told me to hold my head up. So moving forward, I have to hold my head up and keep living life and still check on his 3 children. And I still have to mother my 3 children. I love him with all my heart. And I also love his family as well. This has totally affected me. I'm very unstable. We lived together for 3 years. I breathed and ate with this man for 3 years. My finances and everything. I'm just trying to figure out life again and how to rebuild because I have been totally unstable this last year and a half. Thank y'all so much once again. And I have nothing to say to someone. I have nothing to say to no one else in this room.
Thank you, ma'am.
And that would conclude the victim impact statements, Your Honor.
Anything further on the part of the state?
Nothing else for the state.
Mr. Cowan?
Your Honor, I realize that the court's left with very little discretion in this matter when it comes to sentencing. We, just for the courts, so the court will know, Anthony has 5 children between the ages of 1 year old and 12. He actually was employed, and I know this during the time that I knew him, and since 2021 or so. Worked for a construction company. He was a machine operator. He could have continued to do that, I'm sure. He's 32 years old now. He graduated from Riverdale High School in 2011, I believe. His mom was here during most of the trial. She's heartbroken. I know some of his siblings were here, and I understand his father was here, although I didn't see him. It's a bleak and long sentence, no matter what, bleak prospects for my client. I'd ask the court to exercise any discretion that the court can, but of course, we understand that that's limited.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cowan, and thank you, counsel, for the work you both have put into this case. Just first say and thank those here in the gallery in attendance for this trial on both sides, including those that are no longer here. And clearly it showed that this is an important case in all aspects, and the stakes are so high. And I want to express my sympathies to the family, and it's very clear to me that that your loss is not one that this trial can ever replace. But what I can hope is that seeing this process through allows you to begin that process of closure, to put this behind you and to start focusing on the things that really matter. Your focus can now be on the memories and those moments that you described and are special to you, and not on the unpleasantness you had to endure throughout this trial. But I don't have too much else to add here. I think both the nature of the case here as presented by this case, by the state's case, and the evidence show just a general callousness, a disregard to human life. I think that same attitude has been expressed here in trial. I don't think there's been any real appreciation of the harm, the loss that's happened here on the part of Mr. McCoy. And I think his entire life so far is evidenced through the state's evidence of aggravation, these prior felony convictions, how he conducts himself in the jail, and just generally what he has shown is important to him in this life. Do not give me any confidence that he deserves any mercy from this court. And so although the sentence is compelled by his prior felony convictions, I'll just state as a finding for the record that I would impose the same sentence regardless. And that sentence would be accepting the recommendation of the state. The sentence as pronounced will be on count 1, 20 years to serve. That will be consecutive to count 3. Count 2 will be 20 years to serve, consecutive to count 1. Count 3 to the charge of murder, the sentence is life without the possibility of parole. Count 4 is the same sentence to run concurrent to count 3. Counts 5 through 11 vacate by operation of law. Counts 12 merges to count 3. Count 13 merges to count 4. Count 14 is 10 years to serve. That'll be concurrent to count 3. Count 15 and 16 merge into count 17. And 17 is 15 years, again, required to be consecutive. That is consecutive to count 2 for a total sentence of life plus 65 years. Is there anything further to be put into the record on behalf of the state at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Anything on behalf of the defense?
No, Judge.
All right, this matter is now adjourned. Thank you all.